Welcome back, everybody. Bonus episode, Walking Dead, Season 6, Episode 7. Spoiler alert right now, right off the get-go. Rob, tell them the link, so...
Well, first of all, starting at the top, spoiler alert, we are going to be discussing Season 6, Episode 7 of The Walking Dead. We'll be discussing everything from this season, from previous seasons of The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead. We'll talk about The Walking Dead comics and everything in The Walking Dead universe. So if you haven't seen this episode or other stuff that's happened, make sure that you turn it off now, go watch, then come back, because obviously we're going to be spoiling stuff if you haven't seen it yet. As far as this podcast goes, make sure you check out DirtyShowUnderground.com for new episodes of the podcast every Thursday. Bonus episodes Monday, Tuesday, or whenever the hell we feel like it. Make sure you check out Dirty Shore UG on Facebook and Twitter. We make sure and update with live links so you can come in and join the conversation. We stream live at youtube.com/c/DirtyShoreUG-OTA. You can come in and comment. We've had a pretty good week thus far. Where people have come in and commented and joined the conversation and made things pretty dynamic. So come in and join us, as always, on YouTube. Alright, so I think that covers all the bases. Now, first of all, the Talking Dead's making everybody wait an extra hour because they're playing Into the Badlands. And I know everybody's got to be on the edge of their seat. So I'm glad that we are beating...
We're taking over.
We are beating Talking Dead. So I'm sorry, Hardwick. I love you, man. You failed me a little bit because he's getting engaged. I thought Hardwick and I were going to be the two guys who never got married, but that's okay. He's getting married. He's having to wait an hour for the End of the Badlands. I'm beating him on everything. But Season 6, Episode 7. We're
First
finally
5 seconds of the show.
And first of all, guys, okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Some of us don't like watching commercials. I hate fucking commercials. And I love my DVR because it lets me fast forward through commercials. But what I don't like is that my thing explodes. My Facebook, Twitter, everything explodes in the first 5 seconds. And as soon as I started getting like alerts on everything, I'm like, okay, something big happened in The Walking Dead. Don't check any of this. Because I wait like the first 10, 12 minutes to build up the fast forward through the commercials. But you've heard it here for the last 6 weeks. 5 weeks.
It was missing for 4 weeks.
Missing for 4, but we said it in that episode. Episode 2 is where he went missing, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. We said at the end of the episode, calm down, just wait. Yeah, because it's 7.
Episode 3.
Episode 3. So at the end of episode 3, we said, calm down, just wait, don't worry, you don't stress, that there is an explanation for everything. And it took 4 episodes, but by the first few seconds of episode 7, it paid off. We were right. Glenn's not dead. Hashtag Glenn's not dead.
Glenn's still alive.
Yes.
We've been saying it for 4 weeks. Just enough room for his tiny Asian self to get underneath the dumpster.
Well, and I also love that we called exactly what happened. I mean, listen, I'm not saying that we're geniuses. I mean, I'm a genius. Literally a genius. But... we went step by step on how he would get out of that, and that's exactly what happened. So, yeah, it's, for those of you, I mean, everybody's seen it, I'm sure, but I went back and watched it again. I listened to our podcast from the first time when we talked about it. Nicholas, the physics-defying gunshot that then made him spin around and somehow end up on top of Glenn.
Because he's the whole reason Glenn ended up on the ground in the first place.
Right.
So.
But again, you put the gun to one side of your head and somehow fall in the same direction as the gunshot. Doesn't make much sense. But it's like Zapruder film. But as they fell, you saw Glenn kind of grab him as they went down. And we said after episode 3, when they went down, Nicholas fell across him, and that was them digging at that. And Glenn was horrified at what was going on. Not that he was getting hurt.
Oh, yeah.
And we said as they pulled back, you could see the half circle of the circle of zombies, but that the dumpster was right there. All he's got to do is just pull out. And what did he do?
He pulled out.
Although apparently not with Maggie very well, as we learned last week. So thoughts?
You're an asshole.
I'm just saying.
God, you're an asshole.
I'm just saying. He pulled out and got up under the dumpster. He just didn't pull out very well.
I like that he ultimately used the balloons to let Maggie know he was live.
Yeah.
And I like how she just she took off her defense the second she seen them balloons because she just knew it had to be Glenn.
So as soon as I saw Enid and Enid's back, by the way, which
Yeah,
is good
like,
too.
She's still alive.
Yeah.
How about that?
And I mean, I figured that she would be because she got out before the wolves showed.
She's
like
a girl
really
badass.
out. Yeah, she is. She really is.
She's gonna be like a little Carol, I think.
She's like a mixture between Morgan and Carol, kind of, just like that little bit of like, well, except for she kills people. But you know, on my own, I do what I have to do. I'm out, and not trusting people, and but yeah, no, and I guess a lot with Morgan with the like helping people out. She didn't have to help Glenn. She. At all, but she did.
Another thing you ended up being right on.
What's that?
With Morgan and the fucking wolf guy.
I'm sorry, wait, now, what now?
You
what
were
was
right.
What was I right about?
I was extremely pissed off the second. Like, when he first showed up at the doctor's office, I thought he was trying to get some pussy.
Yeah.
Okay? And at the end
From the doctor, who's a lesbian, by the way, who...
At the end of the episode, it's like, got a wound I need to treat, but it's not... Motherfucker! Just kill the guy! They tried to take out the whole fucking town. Come on now.
Yeah. But we know Carol's suspicious. She knows that somebody's down there, and what we've learned about Carol is the Carol today, right now, is not the Carol from earlier seasons, and she's not going to let it go.
Carol
She's going to get in
Morgan.
there. Well, I was going to say, I have a concern that dude is going to kill Carol. That she's going to get in there and get into some one-on-one with that guy, and something bad's going to happen. And although Glenn is safe, that doesn't mean anybody else is. I mean, this show will kill people off willy-nilly.
I told Kenny, I said, how fucked up would it be if you find out he's alive at the beginning of the episode, but he dies at the end?
And that's what I said. I was like, you know what? As soon as like I said, I saw social media explode, and I said, fuck, okay, something's happening. Either he's alive, or he's alive and then he dies. So, as soon as I watched and I saw he was alive, I'm like, okay, now fuck, Glenn, don't be dumb. Don't do something stupid. Like, you survived, you got out from under there. You see him searching for water, and then he starts breaking in, and I'm like, oh god. When he ran down the block, Enid, goes down and turns to the right, and then he kind of just like makes Enid,
I said it
turns
too.
the corner.
I said yes, scream really loud because that makes a whole lot of fucking sense.
Yeah, like, don't do that because I thought for sure he was gonna turn the corner, come face to face with somebody, but he survived the episode, and I think that's that was the big test, is whether he'd survive. But now, I mean, obviously bigger issues. But so getting back, Glenn pulls himself under the dumpster, and then goes like super freak, just chopping all of them, building himself a little pit full of walkers around the outside. What? How long was he under there? I mean, I know they showed the moon and everything, but
Greg and his terrorists and most of the first half of the season was shot in one day.
Right. Well, it was supposed to be, of course, one day.
Yeah, everything was, of course, one day. As we've seen at the end of the last episode, it was finally shifting into the next day for both people still in Alexandria and people that were outside the walls at the time.
Right.
And it showed that his overlap, he's spent the night underneath that fucking dumpster.
Right.
So between all the dead zombies and shit around him and whatever's been sitting in that dumpster for 2 years or more.
Yeah.
At this point,
spent hours and hours underneath it. But because the thing that I was trying to get up, Lisa has joined us. Hi, Lisa. Lisa is #Team Glenn. His search for water was weird because it was like he was so thirsty, and I mean maybe 12 hours will do that, but I just didn't think that it was so desperate. He had that, like, I've been trapped under here for 2 days, search for water. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I've never been trapped under a dumpster with dead bodies, so I don't know.
He probably wanted to taste something other than blood.
That's true, too. I mean, there was a lot of blood around.
It probably could have been anything at that point, and he would have been happy.
Yeah. And then Enid, with the worst heads up ever, like, hey, heads up, and throws the bottle from the roof at the same time. But yeah, so just following Glenn's progress a little more, would you have fought so hard to try and get Enid back to Alexandria?
I don't know if I would, because obviously you could tell she spends time outside the walls.
Yeah.
We've seen that.
Yeah, but he didn't know that.
He didn't know that,
right.
But I mean...
As soon as the bitch pulled a gun and put it in my face, fine, fuck you then, I don't care.
Well, but
die, bitch.
Which is what also Daryl should have done last week.
Yeah.
But, like an idiot.
He went back. And I think this is a common thing you're seeing amongst our crew from The Walking Dead is that they just are like, this ain't the first time I had a gun in my face. You know, like, okay, go ahead. What are you gonna do? Let's do this thing. Let's do it. But I think the other part of it to remember is Glenn didn't have a gun. He had his knife, and that was it.
He had a gun. He picked the gun up off the ground.
Whose gun?
I'm guessing
Nick's?
the one Nick shot.
Oh, see, I didn't see him pick up Nick's gun.
Yeah.
Did he? Oh, okay. Because I was thinking the other half of that was, I need that gun. All right, so you're not going to shoot me. Take it. Go. So, all right, so that doesn't matter, I guess. So, you wouldn't have stayed and tried to get her to come back?
I don't think I would have. I think, obviously, she's made it that far, that 24 hours by herself out there, and we've seen her go out multiple times throughout this season so far. I think she'd been just fine.
I mean, we watched her rip the head off a turtle.
Her, for the most part, reminds me of Glenn, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Glenn was a pizza delivery boy, was able to get in and out of places without getting killed by zombies, still to this day.
Yeah.
Survived underneath a dumpster for probably 12 hours.
That you have to do, right?
She goes outside the wall. She can get around without the zombies really noticing her, without being covered in blood, so...
Did you see the walkers through the window when they were having that argument, when she was looking through the door and Glenn grabbed her? Did you see the zombies outside the window? I kept thinking, like, yo, stop yelling. What are you doing? They're hearing you. Stop. But,
when I first seen the hand, I didn't even think it was Glenn. I was like, fucking just got her.
Shh. Like,
you're going home.
Yeah, you're going to regret not going.
Stop being Carl.
But the other side of that is, it turns out Glenn needed her to get back, or to send a signal back, so it's a good thing that he did fight to get her to come back with him. Because starting here, what do you think Glenn's thinking when he gets back to Alexandria?
The fuck?
How much you want to bet she knows where that secret entrance is, too?
My first thought was that, she turned and ran away, but she doesn't want to go back. I think that's number one. But the other side of it is, I guarantee you she knows about the little sewer entrance, and that she knows how to get in and out of there. But what do you think that he thought when he saw it?
The fuck?
But, I mean, he knows that the horde broke out early. He knows that things have kind of gone awry. So, and Glenn, to me, is a problem solver.
Okay, now, I feel like he was the fuck when the thing fell down.
Well, and we didn't get to see him. And we'll get to the thing falling down, I guess. But, I can't imagine after going through all of that, you're like, oh, God, we're home free. And you come up over that hill, and you're just like,
son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I told him the whole episode that the thing was going to fall down.
We're going to get to that. Calm down.
I'm just saying, they didn't listen to me.
Where was I going to say? Enid. So Enid runs off. What is the fucking deal with Enid? Why does she always just run?
I think she got used to that short time that she was by herself.
Yeah.
She's used to being alone.
Like,
when Daryl first came into Alexandria and how he felt out of place, she still feels out of place.
I think it's like Morgan.
Okay.
When he went crazy, that here's not here thing, it doesn't matter. That's like how it is with her.
When
she's been on her own so long, she saw her parents die, that it's to that point now, well, everybody dies eventually, it doesn't matter.
And she did say that, the world's trying to tear itself apart.
She ain't one of the Ninja Turtles.
The world's trying to die, we need to just let it.
Yeah. And, I mean, so is Glenn right? I mean, was he right in the way that he kind of broke her down during the episode?
I think he was. I mean, he's one of those people. It's like, if you're worth saving, then I'm going to try to save you.
Right.
If you pull a gun and put it in my face, you ain't worth saving, motherfucker.
Well, I think at the point where it becomes time that you don't try to save somebody is in Morgan's current case. The guy sat right there and said, I will get free and I will kill you all. He should have ended them right then and there.
If I kill you,
and it's going to be, that's going to end up being a problem, I sense. That's going to be an issue.
But let me rephrase that. Not if Carol kills you first.
Well, so what,
Carol might not get that chance with the damn church falling through.
Aside from obviously sending a signal to Maggie, what is the plan with the balloons? Do you think it was just a signal, or do you think that it's part of something else?
I think that was a signal to let them know that they were just outside the walls, on the other side of the wall of walkers.
Yeah.
And maybe they'll check. Well, it doesn't really matter now because now there's going to be an opening for people to come through.
Okay, I got a question. They say the walkers are slow. They don't move very fast. But why is it when they fall down, it's like the walkers move in like this fast-ass pace just to get to you?
Well, I mean, I don't know that they move any faster than anything else.
I know, but the way they lapse it, that the person falls down and the next thing you know, the walkers are right there.
Well, because there's no change in pace. There's no lag for them. It's just like an animal. So, I mean, are you talking about when Spence falls down? When Spencer, is it Spencer? Deanna's son, when he falls down?
No, it was the guy helping Rick build the thingy-majigger. At the end.
After the thing, we're gonna get to the end. Let's wait till we get to the end. All right.
Okay.
So, anything else on Glenn though? I mean, happy Glenn's back. Things went to shit. I feel a little. I fucking love and hate these writers because I feel like it's all one big tease.
It was a great ploy by them to even pull his name out of the title credits.
Oh yeah. And people took notice and then didn't say it. And, you know, well, he's not even there anymore, and you know, everything they do is just trying to build. And they're trying to build ratings, and I get that. And then, did you watch the video during Into the Badlands, that first segment, where he's just like, I'm glad he's back?
When he messaged me, he told me, asked me if I was setting up, I was like, yeah. Hadn't even turned the PlayStation on yet, because I was waiting for that.
And he said that, you know, I'm glad to be back, and they're treating him like he was off the show. You were on the show. You knew you had filmed more.
Yeah.
Come on. But, so, I think, it's a huge tease, because I don't know that we're going to see him get back to Maggie this season. I mean, clearly, I think it's going to be a fucking issue. So.
No, I think he'll get back before the season's over because you said that Negan's supposed to be showing it.
That's what I mean. Again, people are saying that, and nobody knows.
Yeah.
This is the most tightly lipped show in the world. Nobody knows what's going to happen.
If Negan is shown next Sunday,
yeah,
he will definitely be back inside before the end of the season.
Okay.
With the hole opening up in the wall. Shit's gonna start hitting the fan. We got issues going on inside between Carl and the other boy over a female.
Well, and we'll get to that. But I think that the thing that I see is that this is turning into a jail scenario where people are going to kind of start scattering, and they're not together. And although they want to find each other, you got to get out first and try to scatter and worry about finding each other.
Judith is with what's her face now.
Which here's the thing. I love kids, and I don't have any kids, but if I'm Carol and shit hits the fan, I'm kind of glad that baby is with somebody else. Because she's a badass, she needs both hands for guns. The other girl can barely handle what was she doing, machete training earlier? Let her have the baby and then stand behind me while I shoot people, you know what I mean? Like, don't be weighed down. Have people who can't be fighters do other things. I think that's the way you should break stuff down. And people always say, like, no, everybody needs to have a gun. No, people need to have roles. You know, have you, Triceratops. Have you seen about Triceratops? You know why they look the way that they do?
With the horns?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, when you see them in video, like old school videos, they'd always just be fighting and stuff. That's not what they did. They would put their young in the middle and then back in. And so when a predator came up, there would be this entire circle of just horns and then shields that touched, and horns on the outside. So, like, that's what you should do.
Aren't their tails spiked?
No, that's Stegosaurus.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, there's 150 million years between Stegosaurus and Triceratops.
I was just asking.
That fucking shit. No, that shit'll fuck up your brain. Like, some of those dinosaurs have more time between them than one of the dinosaurs in us. Like, that shit will fuck your brain. Tyrannosaurus is closer to us than Tyrannosaurus is to Stegosaurus. So, the one with the spikes on its tail?
So Jurassic Park's just wrong.
It's all bullshit.
They actually even said that in the last movie.
Yeah.
So.
But no.
Another podcast.
Yeah, no. So, that shit'll fuck up your brain. You know, more dinosaur talk on Dinosaur Podcast. So, anyway, so
now we got to do that.
We found our new topic.
Yeah, so getting back to all the other stuff though, a lot of stuff happened in Alexandria too, and I'm glad that it wasn't so Glenn focused because
they couldn't afford to be based completely on Glenn the entire
right,
episode.
and I would have hated it after having gone through so much time without Glenn for it to just be about Glenn because really nothing much happened. He was under a dumpster and then he found his way back. Good, we covered all the bases. That's all we needed to do. But so a couple of things happened in Alexandria. One, Deanna's son is an idiot. Yeah. First of all,
which we've been doing that.
Yeah.
So
where did he get a grappling hook? Have we seen a grappling
No.
hook yet?
Look if I know.
Where did he get a grappling
There
hook?
must be a ninja in the compound.
Which I want to make a quick side comment. In the pantry, when all that shit fell down, I honestly thought it was him at first.
Doing what?
Taking food like he did the last time.
Getting what he wanted?
Yeah.
My initial thought was that Wolf, the guy from the Wolves, that
Already out?
Morgan was harboring.
Yeah, but so he got a grappling hook. What was his plan?
No, wait, that wasn't even him. That was the boy.
That was the boy getting the rounds, yeah. But no, so what was his plan with the grappling hook?
You didn't hear it? You didn't hear him say it?
No, I heard it. I heard him say, but realistically, what was his plan? Because what he did was he went across to the outer fence where they were trying to build in new area.
Yeah.
And then when you get to the outer fence, there's still zombies on the other side of that. So what's your plan from there? You grapple over to the outer fence, you drop down into more zombies.
His best case scenario, he would have got to the chapel that was sitting there.
Yeah.
And
That's
maybe
fine.
fired off a magazine or two.
Yeah. Hope to drop down
Which
off
2
the
minutes
10-foot
later
fence.
fell over anyway.
Yeah. Which I wanted to
So
say.
he would have been right back inside.
I feel like they may have cut something out that pulling on that wall may have done something to help pull the chapel. Because I think that wall was attached to the chapel.
Probably.
And I feel like they cut out stuff because obviously they do edit.
But again, like I said, in the comic books, there was a weak spot in the wall.
Yeah.
Chapel didn't fall over. It's just from the pressure of the zombies pushing a hole in that
Yeah.
one spot, which caused just enough opening for zombies to start getting in.
Not that big of an opening now.
Close.
I was gonna say, if one section
was
of that
close.
wall fell over, it's still a manageable opening because you just set up a
You
kill
can
box.
catch them as they're coming
Yeah,
in.
you set up a kill box where you're just pop, 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 pop
Yep.
as they come in. A building falling on it opens up much too big of an opening for a kill box. And in fact, setting up kill boxes are a great way to set up not a sabotage, whatchamacallit, where you surprise people. Fuck, what happened to them on the bike?
Ambush?
Ambush. When you set up an ambush, you should always set it up with kill boxes. That's my tip for the day. Kill boxes are fun.
When you play first-person shooters, choke points are the helpful point if you got a team that follows you.
So, anyway, so
Or you like me and you stand against a wall or a corner where you can only see him.
This could still be a manageable checkpoint, but with everything else that had happened over
Yeah.
that 24-hour period in the show,
yeah,
nobody is prepared for that
go
to
back.
come down.
Go back. Yeah. So another thing I noticed is that is it Kara? Ah, fuck, I can never remember the character's name. One of the actresses is pregnant, and
Kara.
is it Kara?
Tara.
Tara.
And I called it last time. She sat backwards in a chair and it hit her stomach. And she's the one who got over the wall and started shooting. And I was like, interesting choice on a character to do that. Because she's clearly pregnant while she's hanging on the wall. And then later they do another angle where the bar, like the railing, is blocking her stomach. But she's just clearly pregnant.
They hide it well.
But still, badass for her. Staying on set, saying, no. You write me these things. I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm down for it. It's fine. And just going through it and doing it. So
Yeah,
good for
They
her.
probably also had something underneath of her helping hold her up. She wasn't
She-
actually.
She was probably attached to a harness. So.
And she was definitely sitting on a platform because she had her like one heel dug in, and so it
One
made it
leg
look
down,
like
the other on the fence.
yeah, it made it look like she was sitting on her heel, but she was definitely sitting on a platform while she was firing. But I mean, nonetheless, though, looked badass, and
And the funny thing is, the smart thing they probably could have done was, you said she was close to being due, right? When they were filming the
she was
first
probably
one?
like 3 or 4 months along there.
Smart thing to do would probably been leave her in a coma throughout the season.
Yeah.
But
Well,
she probably didn't
I
want to do
would
that
say
either.
they could find her a lover on the show, and when she has the baby, woo! But she's lesbian.
yeah.
It's not that anymore.
Maybe,
Why not- and-
maybe she had a random night with Abraham like the other
We
girl.
just want to procreate. We want to make
Well,
as many people as we can.
I think though that she was aiming to have the baby in the off season, and the only way to do it, because their shooting season is so fucking long, is to be pregnant at the end of the shooting season. So you gotta get pregnant while you're shooting, be pregnant at the end of the shooting season, have the biggest months in the off season during the airing schedule, have the baby, 6 weeks, back out to shoot again for next season. Or else or
if you have a C-section, 8 weeks.
Or if you have a C-section, sure. Anyway, so I just think it's badass that she's pregnant out there hanging off of walls and fucking knocking down zombies. And she's a crack shot too, which is fucking excellent. So.
She's going fucking gangster right now and popping all over in the head. They didn't even hit Spencer once.
And he was scrambling too, on the ground, standing up.
I think I would have purposely shot him like, oops.
Yeah, that comment at the end, he's like, damn, they got my shoe.
I know.
Somebody needs to lock him up in a cell.
Somebody needs to punch him in the face.
He's so detached from reality that he's a danger to everybody. And Deanna doesn't see it. She doesn't care about it. She's just like, oh.
No, she agreed with Rick that he was fucking stupid.
No, but that's the way you agree when it's your kid. You're like, yeah, he's dumb, but. When you say but, after he did that and endangered all of those people who tried to save him, but it's too late now because of other stuff that happened. But before we get to that, the Porch Dick's son, which I think is going to be...
Dick.
Yeah, Porch Dick was Jesse's husband.
Oh.
And Return of Porch Dick,
Hashtag Porch Dick.
Or Son of Porch Dick,
Hashtag Son of Porch Dick.
is going to be a problem, I think. So we predicted a couple episodes ago when he asked Rick to teach him to shoot that there's going to be bad news and he's going to try to shoot Carl. And then he suggests live ammo shooting while Carl's there, while looking at Carl.
I don't know how bad I want to say it.
Don't say anything. So,
you can tell me when they leave.
So then
I've already said it. That's the bad thing.
So then he dumps some stuff out of the pantry.
Yep.
To draw some attention. Runs in, takes some bullets, and then goes.
And we seen him draw the gun on Carl.
And the last thing we see is him pulling it out and walking down. Now,
it's not the last thing we see.
Right before the
motherfuckers, I told him the whole fucking show was gonna fall.
Well, the last thing we see in that situation is him following. So here's what we need. Here's what we know though. Carl is carrying around a gun that also has bullets in it.
Yep.
And the boy is carrying around a gun that has now bullets in it. Carl thinks it's empty though. Carl treats every gun like it has bullets in it though, thanks to Rick. And Carl don't like that kid. Kid don't like Carl. This is gonna end with somebody dying.
Western shootout.
And Carl's got the cowboy hat on. So no,
I'm not gonna spoil
spoilers.
All right, we'll say this is the comic book timeline.
Don't review anything that happens ahead of time.
I'm not gonna say anything about the comic.
Okay.
That I haven't already said. This is your comic book timeline, and this season this has been the TV show going over this way.
Yeah.
T-boned the comic book line tonight.
Came right back?
T-boned it.
Well, not exactly, but in a lot of ways.
It T-boned it.
Okay.
With the exception of instead of the walkers pushing over a section of the wall,
the
thing
church
fell over.
Yeah.
The rest of it completely T-boned the comic book.
Okay, so Rick still has his hand, but other than that, Glenn coming back.
The shit that it seems like, well, Glenn wasn't missing at this point in the comics.
Right. Okay, but Glenn coming back means he's back at Alexandria. Yeah. Enid, she in the comics? Yeah, but I mean, he's back in the area.
I don't remember her being in the comics.
Maggie, is she pregnant in the comics?
Yep.
Okay. Deanna and her idiot kid. She's not the Deanna's character is a man in the comics, but yes, and his kid's an idiot in the comics as well. And Porch Dick is dead. Yeah.
Still died because of Rick in the comics.
And there's some detail.
The wife still gets boned by Rick.
Not yet.
No, he didn't. He hasn't in the show. In the comics, she done got boned, and by this point.
Well, I'm taking them kissing in the garage.
By this point, they had screwed.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of shit happened, and.
But the comics are also
people died.
But the comics are also for horny boys who like to see sex. So.
Like Kenny.
Well, yeah. So. But alright, so you're saying that this season has kind of... Is the whole quarry thing, is that in the comics as well?
Nope.
So that's where you're saying it kind of detoured.
It veered off, and now it's just like...
Is Enid in the comic books?
No.
But yeah, so we have... the wolves are introduced. The wolves are in the comics, or the saviors.
the saviors are in the ones I have.
Yeah.
The wolves were introduced after because I believe that's Negan's group.
Right, yeah.
This is another reason why I'm trying to get Brandon here next week for this.
See, now, as much pissing and moaning as you do about the fucking vaping. But anyway.
Did.
So, yeah. And I realized, she hotboxes half of it? Anyway. So you're saying, though, but with all of this stuff that's happening, we're right back on comic timeline.
Yep.
Brought it all back in.
Yep, for the most part, yeah. I mean, it's still got its mild differences, but it just smashed back into where the comic book timeline is going, especially with the thing falling over.
Yeah.
So, with that in place, I think I know exactly what's going to end up happening next week.
Well, don't ruin it.
I won't.
Because, you got time.
Because I've said this. I said it like 2 weeks ago what I thought was going to happen by the mid-season finale.
Yeah.
So next week we're going to find out how close that I was.
So, the only thing we haven't talked about is the thing that Rude Ass over here keeps bringing up, which is, so the tractor trailer hit the church. That weakened the church clearly. It pushed it in the direction of the wall. And then we were given some foreshadowing all episode long with the creaking and the cracking. And sometimes we didn't know it was the church. It was just a building that was creaking, and that's all we could see. But end of the episode, everybody, I can't even remember what they were yelling at each other about. Was it about Spencer and his dumb shit?
I believe
Was it
so.
still that? Yeah, okay.
So.
And then all of a sudden, creak, 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 crack, church falls over. And takes down a large section of wall. But I mean, the story of this season is basically, we're not ready! Because episode 1 kicked off with, here's the plan, shit, we're not ready.
Yep.
And now it's just happening again, and we're not ready again. And,
I told them motherfuckers the whole episode.
And so, what I was thinking about is, have you seen Saving Private Ryan?
Yes.
Okay, so, do you know the scene on the beach when Giovanni Ribisi is the doctor, and he's working on one of the guys, and he's like, I think we got it! I think we stopped the bleeding! Bink! And he's like, fuck you! Fuck you! Give me a fucking chance! So, when they're working on the wall, and they're like, I think we got it! I think it's secure! And then the church falls down, like, that's the same... I have the same sense. Like, they tried so hard to save the wall. Yeah, we got it. It's nice and secure. Yes. Smash. So.
On another note,
yeah.
While rewatching last week's episode,
okay.
While rewatching it, we noticed it was definitely a bridge, regardless of what anybody says.
Okay, so it wasn't the roof.
Second case scenario, it might have been a parking garage, but it definitely looked like a bridge. However, I realized when the zombie fell and the RPG was just sitting there, it would have been the perfect time for Abraham sarcastically with a grin on his face, just been like, "Mother dick." It would have been the perfect time to bring it back.
But
should have.
Which I was watching him with the cigar.
Yeah.
He wasn't chewing on it. He didn't clip the end of it. He just lit it.
No, he chewed off the end of it.
No, he didn't.
Wait, he just chewed the end of it?
No, he stuck it in his mouth, turned around, and lit it.
Okay, well, so when he first took it out of the box, before he went over and screamed at the zombie, he had one in his mouth. He just opened it and closed it?
He opened it, took one out, looked at it, put it back, threw it
Oh, see, I thought he chomped it off at the beginning there.
No.
All right,
but
so...
don't they have a small hole in them?
Yeah, most people just like to have the entire end of the cigar
more
off.
smoke.
Yeah, because it gives you more smoke.
That's like the difference between the pen vape and...
Right, yeah, it's all about just how much in... But it burns slower if you have a smaller hole, so I guess if you're in the zombie apocalypse, you want to make it last. That's a good way to make it last, is just to have the small hole. So, some of us wouldn't know anything about that. But anyway, so...
That's another thing Rick fucking yelled at Terrence. Like, what the fuck are you doing? We don't help these people. She's just like... me mugging and shit.
No,
they made me think of
he said, why did you do that? You already almost died once for these people.
Yeah, but
and she was just like...
That's another reason I like it as her, because she is starting to become that, like, leader of the anti-Rick faction. Mm-hmm. She's just like, fuck you, Rick. Like, I follow you, but I don't have to.
You know, when she flipped up the middle finger, my first thought, you know all the memes, the Thug Life memes? Where they play the video and then it has the glasses that come in on their faces. Like, you know, that's the first thing that fucking played in my mind. I heard the fucking music and everything. I was
like, damn, it feels
good. Yes.
Damn.
When do we start being able to put the middle finger on television?
Apparently tonight.
Because I realized
Around
that...
the same time, they could say asshole and mother dick.
Well, see, because you can say dick as long as you're not referring to the genitalia.
The penis?
Yes.
Well, after,
just like you can say...
After 9 o'clock, you can get there's a lot you can get away
How
with.
about after 9?
As long
Yeah.
as it's only one major thing in an episode.
Well, no, and you could say, like, Breaking Bad, you could say fuck once. Yeah, they got it, because that was after 10. But, like, I have not seen anybody give the finger in an episode. But now that I think about it, maybe The Walking Dead has done that a couple of times.
They probably have.
Just not so brazenly as Tara, like, just wide open and like that. I don't know. But, so the church...
Because I know they have the meme. They have a meme of Beth and Daryl.
Yeah.
In the middle.
Yeah, because they flipped off the fire and...
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they did. They
Season
did.
4.
They did. But Beth is doing Into the Badlands. Isn't she into the Badlands?
I don't know. We were only... Well,
We only
we're
watched
in
one
episode... We're in episode deep.
Yeah. You
Episode
should check
2
out Into the Badlands. That's what I said.
Episode 2 ended half an hour ago. Talking Dead finally started.
Oh, yeah. All right, so, what was I going to say? Church, chapel came down, took down the walls. The good news is that's going to cause some debris. Zombies don't deal with debris very well.
Mm-hmm.
And
they tend to get stabbed on random shit.
And get stuck, and then they're just like, because, I mean, Morgan set up his little pitchfork or, pike wall, and that stopped a lot of zombies. So I would say that it may still set up a decent kill box, because I can't imagine, that thing was pretty a sizable square.
Did you watch the On the Next Walking Dead?
Do I ever watch it? Unless I
Sometimes.
You try not to.
I try not to.
For some reason, the last couple of weeks, you kept
you can stick to
catching
your
it.
theory. That works.
Well, here's the thing. I will hate if that whole building just went flat for some reason and created a perfect walking surface for them to come in. That will upset
It
me.
looked like it was maybe a 15-foot gap, but like you said, with the debris and shit.
Right. So it makes it a little
It's
difficult for them to
probably
get in.
going to shrink it maybe to about 7 foot.
And
if we're lucky.
The problem
if they're
is
lucky.
they have to then run across the town to get to the armory and then back across and over.
Although some of them are carrying weapons now after the...
True, but the stuff you want
prior
is the
day.
M16. You don't want the 357.
You want the RPG that Abraham's on the outside of the wall.
Yes, indeed you do.
What if Abraham and them show up towards the end of the next episode and just start blowing shit up?
They will. I mean, and I think that the truck, the gas truck, and...
Daryl's not killing anything with his crossbow, that's for sure.
Unless he kills the dude
By the
with
way,
the crossbow.
Kenny's hoodie says Oasis Vapor.
I don't know.
If you can't read.
Let's wait.
I read it.
Yeah.
So, do you think this is the end of Alexandria?
Honestly?
I mean, you haven't read the comics, have you?
No.
Right, yes. So do you think it's the end of Alexandria?
Honestly, yes, and I think a lot of people are going to end up dying.
A lot of our main characters?
No.
Because we're almost out of Alexandrians.
I don't think the main characters are going to die. The only ones really left to die is the woman and her son.
Yeah.
And,
a couple of random...
the guy building, Deanna and her son.
Yeah.
But Deanna's son's fucking stupid, so...
I hope he dies. He's my new favorite.
I honestly hope Carl shoots the boy.
Me too. But I think there's going to be a showdown at the OK Corral between those two. And
Western shootout!
And Carl told the boy, it's different when you have to shoot somebody. That, you're looking there, you're looking him in the eyes, and you have to pull the trigger. And I think he's going to find out that it's not as easy as he thinks it is.
So you want to know what I think?
No!
No, this has nothing to do with the comic book.
Okay.
This is just based off what I've seen tonight.
Okay, just based off that.
We've seen the boy pull the gun out and start to point in the car, right?
Yes.
And I hope he's not a little bitch and shoots him in the back.
And almost exactly the fucking church tower came down on the wall.
Right.
So we know walkers are going to start coming in.
Right.
What did Brick tell him earlier in the episode? Don't pull and shoot.
Right.
Because you're going to miss. So I think he's going to miss and he's going to hit Carl.
Oh, God. I hope not. As much as I hate Carl, he's growing on me. He needs to get a fucking haircut, but he's growing on me.
He's like the only, other than Daryl, he's like the only person that seems not real. Well, obviously the hair's been cut to some point to keep it at like a 2-year minimum.
Right. Well, no, and some of them have trimmed. I mean, now that they're at Alexandria, they can trim their stuff up. You saw Abraham, who's actually trimming that center portion of his beard to keep his little Fu Manchu going. But, speaking of which, I got a little epic beard going on here.
Which we're going to put glitter on.
We're definitely not putting glitter on it. But yeah, so
Vote yes or no if you want Rob to have a glitter beard.
yes or no?
If we had more than this, I would do that.
You can go to dirtyshowunderground.com. We'll start a poll. No, we won't, because I'm not putting glitter on my beard.
Yes, we will.
So,
Facebook.
So if 200 people voted
Facebook.
yes to glitter for on your beard for a day, you wouldn't do it?
if everybody donated $1, I would do it.
You wouldn't do it just like to bring more people into watching the show?
No.
No?
200. If
Dude, I would
200,
let her
You
whip my ass
suck.
every night on a podcast with a squeegee for more viewers.
if 200 people came in and watched, then yes, I would.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, no. If
And
we
they
did like a
watched
telethon,
and then they voted.
oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But they're not going to do that. So we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll put up a poll. If people vote, maybe I'll do it. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
Don't
Glitter
do that.
beard for Rob.
Don't do that because you know a lot of people will do it just to spite.
And I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Even if they just do it to spite me, because then I'll just wash it out.
I'm gonna vote like 20 times.
And that's the other problem, is because some people will do it like that. Not important. Here we go. So, anyway, what was the church is down? You think that he's gonna pull and shoot and end up shooting Carl? And what do you think? You think it's the end of Alexandria? I have some thoughts that it's going to be not the end of Alexandria, but they're going to have to scatter, but they'll all come back. I haven't read the comics, obviously, so I don't know where they would go from here, but there's no plan.
At this point, you could read the first and second podium.
Are we at the end of that?
Actually, let me get through next week's episode first,
Right.
and then it'll probably be the very end of the
Okay.
So.
Well, I may have to borrow it from you at that point so I can read it.
Yeah.
But
I thought Tony has it.
well, after
He does, but I can get it
Tony.
from
Yeah.
because Tony needs me to. He lost his copy of his first CD, so somehow.
All right. Well, yeah. So shoot, what was I gonna say? So so I think that we're gonna have a lot of stuff happen next episode. Obviously, we ended with a big cliffhanger this episode. And we know it's going to be a big cliffhanger next episode, and then they're going to make us wait 2 months.
You want to know what one of my favorite things from the entire episode tonight was? And it wasn't even anything major or serious.
Good.
Father Gabriel putting the fucking signs up and then Rick just walking by.
What did the sign say? I must have missed it.
Prayer
circle.
circle today
Oh,
at 1 by the solar panels.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like, he's like, I'm going to put these up, prayer circle, and then Rick's just walking, man, the fucking God. If there was, there wouldn't be no apocalypse.
I don't
Pull
think
that
it's
shit
about
down.
God. I think it's about the fact that he doesn't like Father Gabriel.
Oh, yeah, no. And he doesn't want him getting any authority to do anything. And people coming to the prayer circle is them giving him some authority. I
I'm
really
sorry,
like...
but I mean, I don't really believe in that shit now.
Yeah.
And if this shit was going on in real life,
Yeah.
I'd sure as hell wouldn't believe in any fucking Holy Father.
I think that my favorite part was the other circle that happened at the solar panels, which was Eugene being a little bitch. Which, by the way, if everybody follows us...
for 2 shoes.
And I don't get him. I don't get... Because he acts like he wants to learn, he acts like he wants to advance, but he doesn't, I guess. He just wants to stay where he is. He wants
I
to
do
be,
like what Rosita said, though.
What's that?
When she said, well, what are you scared of? He said, dying. She said, dying's not the hard part. That's it. You're dead. You're gone.
Yeah.
But watching everybody else die around you and you still have to keep going, that's the hard part.
But I think that should have struck him because they talked about how many people died on the roadway protecting him to keep him up there. You'd think that would make him be like, you're right, let's do this fucking thing. I'm going to learn that some machete moves. But then he's
Instead,
like...
he walked away looking like he was crying like a little bitch.
Well, and, listen, he's an emotional guy. There are people who are emotional. I'm not one of them, but there are people who do that. If you need to cry, just fucking cry it out and then chop some shit up
Like
with
New
some
York
machete.
calls Kenny Mr. Sensitive.
Eugenia.
Eugenia!
That's because I told him he don't come around no more
No,
after he got some
I
new
call
white
him
friends.
Eugina.
Oh, well, I'm not going to call him that. But I think that we're going to see Eugene be pushed to a limit of having to do something
Ain't that right, Eugene?
or get killed. One or the other. And I think that was a little foreshadowing on that. Or somebody else is going to
We
get
are
killed.
waiting for a major character to die.
Right. And it was supposed to be Glenn. It's clearly not going to be Glenn. So, although it could be still. I guess he's still outside. So we know that Abraham, Sasha, and Daryl are on the way back in the truck with the RPGs. Glenn and Enid are outside. Is everybody else inside other than them?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Did it look like Rosita was upset about Abraham?
Well, she doesn't know anything about Abraham.
What I'm saying is, she probably thinks he's dead. You know what I mean? It kind of seemed like she was upset about it a little bit. How upset do you think she's gonna be when Abraham gives back and was like, see, we gotta end this. I gotta fuck Sasha.
See, I don't think she's that upset about Abraham at all. I think her and Abraham thing are a convenience thing. It's alpha dog and alpha dog just spending some time together. That's all.
Alpha dog and alpha bitch.
Whatever. I don't like to use that word because I don't think women are bitches.
Liar!
So anyway, so everybody's inside the walls except for those 5, and obviously they're headed towards Alexandria. About 3,000 zombies are headed back inside the walls too, so that's coming. A lot's going to happen, and we will be here to discuss it after the mid-season finale on.
Because we're going to be talking dead to it next week.
We're going to be talking dead once again to it. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties, so we will
The last episode, not this one, the last one. Daryl did come back to Sasha and Abraham, right?
Yes, he's in the truck. He's
They were all
driving
in
the
the
truck.
truck together.
Okay.
Yeah, on their way back. Hopefully we won't have any technical difficulties, and we can come to you live right at 10:20, 10:30 whenever I get over here.
We should just have you show up right before the actual episode next week and then sit here and watch it with us.
If I can get over here, yeah.
And I can just have this set up so the second that goes off, I can hit fucking share and boom.
I was
knock it out.
I had 2 drinks this afternoon and fell asleep, and then woke up right in time to start The Walking Dead. So, huh? Yes.
I fell asleep too.
How was Uber this weekend?
Not so good. A little slow this weekend. We gotta hope that people catch on to Uber. But but the one thing I did want to mention is that you see these two puffing on their smoke. Karina has become a believer. Before we got started, she was actually downstairs. How much of that cigarette did you smoke?
How much of that cigarette made you want to get sick?
Maybe 3-4 puffs and then you were done. And how much did you smoke before that?
A pack to almost 2 packs a day.
So from 2 packs a day, 2 days ago, to not being able to even have
Actually,
one.
yesterday, I was smoking yesterday. It was the day I quit.
So yesterday, or from 2 days ago, she had a pack and a half to 2 packs a day. Then today, couldn't even have 4 puffs of a cigarette because she's switching over to using a vaporizer. And you saw Kenny. They're decked out in the gear from Oasis Vapor right here in Denton.
You can't see mine. Mine's under the blanket.
But they're decked out in gear from Oasis Vapor right here in Denton.
Sponsors.
North 6th Street.
Turn around.
North 6th Street in Denton, Maryland. It's
Back
right
up a little
off
more so
of
they see the phone number.
right off of 404. I'm gonna have you turn around so I can read it over here. Right off of 404, you take the exit for North 6th Street, 322. Oasis Vapor's in the big red building. It's 601 North 6th Street. Oasis Vapor, owner there, Nate, is fantastic. Harry, friend of the show, Harry works there on weekends. They've given, obviously they give Kenny the hookup here with the gear. They've hooked up Karina with some equipment and with some gear herself. She's quitting smoking. It's fantastic. Oasis Vapor, you can give them a call at 410-924-7359 if you have any questions. OasisVaporLLC.com, or you can find Oasis Vapor on Facebook. Obviously, it's a healthier solution. If you're looking to quit smoking, it's a great alternative. Go in there, talk to Nate, talk to Harry, let them know you heard about it on the podcast here, Dirty Short Underground, and just go in and say hi. If you're just starting out, they got the equipment and the kits that you need to get started and all the information you need to make sure you're making an informed decision. If you have been using it for a while, they got everything you need. You can just go in there and sit down and chat. How long were you in there on Saturday?
Yesterday?
Yeah.
A couple hours.
And they're fine. You go in there, you chill, you talk about the new juices, the new equipment, what's coming out.
Sit there and try them out.
Yeah, she was trying out flavors tonight today to figure out what all she would like other than the crunch
Which
berries.
we were in there for 4 or 5 hours today.
And
just trying flavors.
Brandon got her hooked on a new flavor last night, and
Yeah.
you're going from over 2,000 plus ingredients in a cigarette to all of 4 ingredients in a vapor.
Right.
So,
And so she's quitting smoking. Cigarettes are done. Why don't you join Karina on the Vapor Revolution? Check out Oasis Vapor, North 6th Street in Denton. OasisVaporLLC.com, Oasis Vapor on Facebook. Check them out. Friend of the show.
He doesn't
We
like
really
the
enjoy it.
sweetness.
So, make sure while you're there online, go to DirtyShoreUnderground.com. New episodes of this podcast every Thursday. Bonus episodes Monday or Tuesday, whenever we feel like it. Make sure you check out Dirty Shore UG on Facebook or Twitter. We do send out links to the live show. Join the live show at youtube.com/c/Dirty Shore UG-OTA. You can come on, participate, comment, become part of the show right here live. You can find me at Robert N. Cheek on all your social networks. Make sure you check out robertncheek.com. I got a Cyber Monday deal coming up on my 2 books on Amazon. All you have to do is join the mailing list. More information about that is on robertncheek.com, or you can follow me on Facebook. Just search for me, Robert Cheek. And you can get 20% off the paperback version or get the ebook for 99 cents. More details about that are available on there, robertncheek.com. Is that everything?
I'm thinking.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm asking.
Because you always have something extra than that.
When?
Always.
I can beat you with the squeegee again.
No.
I think that's everything.
I was too sober for that shit last week.
But yeah, so look for a new episode of the podcast coming up this Thursday. I can't remember what the topic is this Thursday, but
dinosaurs.
We haven't recorded that yet. That's random just because dinosaurs ended up in a zombie talking episode.
I don't even know how we got off on that sidebar. But, make sure you check out the OD Anthem podcast. New episodes of that podcast every Tuesday, odanthem.com.
How are the movies?
The Mobbies. Mobbies were great. OD Anthem did really well. We placed 5th in the podcast category, 5th in the Twitter category, and 3rd in the Instagram category. All those categories had over 15 participants, so we in top 3rd.
Is that local for the state?
It's for everybody in the state. So I mean
that's not bad at all then.
The Twitter category had 29 entries and we finished 5th. So you can't beat that. It was our first year nominated. It's great. Big thank you to the Baltimore Sun and to the Mobbies for nominating us and for everybody for supporting us. Obviously we're expanding out. We're keeping an eye on odanthem.com for new information about all that stuff. And obviously we'll keep you posted on here as well.
So next year it probably won't just be the Anthem there. It'll be their subsidized Dirty Shore Underground there too. Possibly.
Everybody, keep your fingers crossed.
Yes.
We're expanding out. We want the network to get bigger, so make sure you support it. DirtyShoreUnderground.com. Anyway, this Thursday is Thanksgiving, so have a happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Look for a new episode coming up. You got the day off. Plenty of time. New episode will be live around noon on Thursday.
The day you're allowed to be fat and nobody can say anything.
So next live stream we'll try to do Wednesdays until people got shit to do Thursday anyway. Yeah.
So and just make sure you follow Dirty Shore UG on Twitter and Facebook, and that way you'll tweet out. It'll come out with the live stream, and you'll be able to click and play along with us. So, but on Turkey Day, make sure you keep an eye out. Maybe you're having dinner around noon. After everything's done, you're settled down, you're relaxing. Check out iTunes, Stitcher, Dogcatcher, or go to DirtyShoreUnderground.com and just get the new episode and just check it out live there. So that's everything. I think it is. Have a great week, everybody.
Take it easy.